The theme is acceptance, and the title of my talk is What You Resist Persists. What we resist persists. It's a law in the universe. So one of the God forms that was my main primary teacher for many, many years is the elemental god of fire. And in some occasions, I learned to listen to fire and talk to fire myself, but a shaman in Mexico had the special job of channeling fire. It's not called channeling, it's something else, but fire speaks through him at night at special fire events with certain kinds of offerings and all that kind of stuff. And at those events, fire invites participants' questions. So one night, I was in Colorado, and one of the questions that was asked by a mother was, what do you do when your child does something that's completely unacceptable? To which fire responded, first of all, if your son did something, then it happened, and you must accept it. If you don't accept it, you'll drive a wedge into your relationship with your son. Now, accepting something is not necessarily the same as liking it. So, in some cases, yes, you accept it, and then you can have a conversation with your child, your son, and you can talk about the appropriateness of what happened or the consequences of what they did that happened. And if necessary, you can dole out a little punishment if that's required. So then he turned his attention, the spirit of fire speaking through this shaman, turned his attention to the rest of the audience, and he said, I want to now address the healers in the audience. And he said, the first thing that you have to do with your clients is get them to accept illness. If they don't accept illness, there's nowhere to go with them. So I was taking notes at this fire, and it meant nothing to me at the time particularly, but a couple of weeks later, I'm back at home in Elora, Ontario, and every full moon for many years, I did an all-day fast, a 24-hour fast, and an all-night fire vigil. And this particular night, it was the full moon a couple of weeks later, and I had a raging migraine headache. I'm reading the notes at the fire. And I get to this part that says, you healers, if you must first get your clients or your patients or whatever to accept illness, because if you don't, there's nowhere to go with them. And I read that, and with this flaming headache that I had for 30 years. I had migraines for 30 years, and they were up to 4 days long, each one. So I ask myself, what have I not accepted about these migraines? And I go through a little list, what I can think of, right? I accept that I've had them for 30 years. I accept that I've tried many things to cure them, and they haven't worked. Hasn't worked. I accept that I don't know what to do now to help these migraines go away. Suddenly, a light bulb went on, and I go, oh, I haven't accepted it as an illness. Aha, is right, exactly, aha. So, well, if I've had them for 30 years, I was just calling them headaches. But if I've had them for 30 years, I guess that qualifies as an illness. Oh, well, if it's an illness, I guess I need a healer. A name came through right away. Becky Ryan came in. I thought, no. Becky lives in the States. Surely I can find somebody local. I can find an acupuncturist or something like that. The name comes in again. Becky Ryan. So now Becky is somebody that I know through my initiation as a weather worker in the Nahuatl tradition of Mexico. And we do 10 days or so of ceremonies every year together in Mexico. I also know her to be a distance healer. So the next day after my fire vigil, I got in touch with her, and she agreed to help me, and we scheduled several healing sessions, distance healing sessions. Now, one of the other things that fire taught was healing is a spiritual matter. So to be a distance healer, that has to be a spiritual thing, right? You can't, you're not there to, apply anything or touch or, any of those kind of things. So it's a spiritual matter, healing. Curing, that's another thing perhaps, but healing and curing are certainly related. Anyway, after, I think she did 8 sessions on me, and then a follow-up 3 for something else. But anyway, I have not had a migraine headache since. Or even any kind of a headache. For that's probably 25 years since I've not had a migraine headache. I visited a friend for lunch not too long after, a week or 2 after that. And I said, I told her about these distance healing sessions that I had had. And she said, the last time you and I had lunch together, I could see a solid marble line on the side of your head. And she said, now it's a clear blue light. So what you resist persists. What we don't accept persists. And this could be, a physical ailment. This could be a pattern of behavior. This could be, what else did I write? This could be an emotional thing. It could be that we don't accept something about ourselves. Could be that we don't accept something about a friend, a family member, a spouse, our government, and so on, right? There could be things that we don't accept about all kinds of things. And when we don't accept them, if it happened, accept it, right? That's the message. If it happened, accept it. Doesn't mean you have to like it. And maybe there's something that can be done, but accept it so we don't cement the issue in our bodies, in our psyches, in our emotions, those kinds of things. And just look and see, is there something that you can think of that you haven't accepted that may be causing a stuckness, an issue, either psychological issue, a physical issue, any kind of an issue.